Alright, welcome back to Hearts Fire and 4, Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Greece. And we are in the year 2020 and still have the weird power fluctuations due to capturing the new territory. Guess we'll have to deal with that for a minute. We're also have a fuel shortage. Oh, that's fun. But we do have nuclear fuel. What's our tech looking like? When do we get... Yeah, we should be able to get the new power plant, I think, soon. Yeah, so that'll help. Both with the fuel problem and the power problem that we have made for ourselves. And Egypt is requesting sanctions on someone. But... Alright. Well, at least we'll make a power plant before we make a... Barely before, but before we make another factory here. So... We're going for that exponential growth kind of factor. Looks like thorium nuclear fuel is on order as well, so that'll help later on. An investment deal with the United Kingdom. Well, that's not great. Still not gonna have the right amount of power. Alright. Anyway, we have a 86 billion. See if we can throw some of that into power plants or something in like Spain. Maybe. Yeah, what we're gonna do is yeah, these green energy power plants that are a scam. We're gonna build those all over Spain. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, and bureaucratic drain is done. Our unemployment's at 8.7%. Oh yeah, September we'll get another power plant built. That's good. Fast, but it's not fast enough. Alright, infantry equipment. We're getting up here. We're almost done. That's pretty good. And where do we want to go from here? Okay, so we have 20,000 manpower, which is literally nothing. Available for like military expansion and things like that. Looks like Bulgaria does have, what is that, 10 million, another couple good amount of millions. Yeah. Having some sort of desert mechanized force would be nice. Yeah, because right now I see them just like walking through us. And we do have 14 armor from the air defense battery. They're at 19 combat with, so they are under 20. They do have piercing, it's just not very high. That's cool. Let me go ahead and train. I'm gonna start all the division training. We're kind of lacking now. There goes our power. And that'll fluctuate pretty rapidly here as we continue making more factories or civilian industry. And let's see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the pace. We're gonna bump Benghazi. So this is for the pheasant territory. We're gonna bump all that up. I should have done this from the bottom. Where I messed up. Alright, let me get all the order right. Fixed up. Look at those. I'm gonna go ahead and move power plants and the factories here up. And we're gonna keep building like that. For now, ooh, I need to trade before this gets worse. Get a third oil. Doesn't look like that was enough by any means. Fourth oil. Fourth oil did a little bit of damage. Yeah, there we go. We're on fourth oil territory of lack of oil supply. Production. Yeah, I guess we are making our own heavy lift aircraft. I might bump that up. Go ahead and bump that up. How are we looking on our multi-role fighter? Not great. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and pay down a little bit of debt. And let's check out the economy. Pay reparations. Okay, Israel's attacking Egypt. They're trying to reenact the 1960s and 70s right now. I'm actually going to go ahead with the fossil fuel plant. This fuel situation is just getting worse and worse. Make sure we go ahead and get that. There's 2 million people there. So we're going to get Chad has millions of people. All right, so those will be the people that will support the expansion of our armies. We keep in mind we only take volunteers. We're not forcing anyone into military service. We're just providing the socioeconomic policies that will support people wanting to volunteer to join the military. That's all we're doing. And yeah, I might combat foreign influence, but it's hard to justify doing that. All right. We've got experimental exosuits done. We're back to 7 factories in our third stack as we've traded away everything for oil. Of course we have. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pay down a little bit more. Hey, look at that. It's funny when you have no power issues, how your economy spikes. But that's not gonna last. I think that's due to renewable power plant fluctuation. Let's see. Yeah, we do have 3. We have minor amounts of fluctuation, I bet. But we'll end up fixing that. All right, so we have unassigned divisions somewhere. Oh, just 1. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and train all these guys up. Yeah, they're only 12 combat with too. And we're losing fuel. Goodbye, factory. Not all the factories, but 1 factory, yes. I think that the rebels are probably, are they taking action? Maybe down here. Yeah, with the 8 oil. Yeah, we're just gonna have to stabilize our populace before we go full on Alexander the Great mode and take these lost lands. So I don't think I think Albania never was a part of it. But I know that Macedonia, Bulgarian regions, and possibly parts of Serbia would have been. Yeah. Let's say for Macedonia, I would be willing to go to war right now. But I definitely want to get more unit recovery and make sure our economy is stable. That's power and production. I don't need a better heavy lift aircraft. Obviously, it would help. But the one that we're making ourselves is good enough for these short range wars. Though we are probably going to need some sort of armored division very quickly here. Let's go ahead and See who we're messing with. We could take control of Chad. But I don't really want to because of the political power situation. Yeah, if we do that, it's just not gonna work. So we're gonna hang tight for a second. All right, we should have a power plant finish. All right, so we should have a little bit of leeway now. Yeah, so everything we're doing right now is wrapping up our infantry bonuses from technology and also stabilizing our fuel and power situation. Because we did acquire a ton more population. I think, where can I see that? Right there. Yeah, so we almost doubled our pop. I think we had like an 80 to 90% increase. Because we were at what, like 17 to 18 million, which would have put us at 36 to double. So being 3 million less, that's 90% of about. That's quick math, though. That's a huge increase. And I guess we're out of fuel too, even though I don't really know what we're using fuel for, considering our military is all basically infantry troops with like one APC. Um, yeah, what resources do I? Yeah, I don't have rubber, I don't have light metal, and I don't have tech metals. I really can't make an armored infantry unit in any significant quantity. Anti-tank guided missiles are going to be the next research target after the infantry stuff. We're just going to max all the support equipment we can. I do need to get self-propelled artillery pieces on the field, though. That's one of my focus points. All right, and how? All right, we're considered a minor power with half our influence being applied. That's pretty good. How's our space program? 2015's. I do need to switch research over to that as well. Because I can do early research pretty comfortably. I think I'll move the quantum computing over to our science for space research. I think that's what I'm going to do on that front. I'm going to leave one of these over here as we switch over to anti-tank guided missiles. Yeah, we're going to get... Oh, wow. So Egypt and Israel are going to be at war. I actually want Egypt to win this. Because if Egypt can take out Israel, which they're not, Israel is kicking their butt, then I can take over Egypt. and that would allow us to press. But if Israel gets it, then I have to attack the United States. Yeah. It's a much harder path for me if Egypt loses this. That's rough. Oh well, you can't win them all. Sometimes bad things happen. I'm gonna put a spy in Bulgaria. We're gonna put this guy in Algeria. Whatever happens here may not matter to us if we lose control of the Suez. It kind of sets us on a different path. That's all. Solar engines are not great for what we were trying to do, but I guess we're researching it. It's the only thing we have enough breakthroughs for, so I'll just get it done. All right. So our spending already max, other than military. Looks that way. Volunteers, services, neo-imperialism, officer academy. I don't think we're gonna close it, and I don't think I'm gonna open it right now. Yeah, so Israel has taken the Sinai Peninsula for the most part there. Yeah, they're done. They're gonna lose all their units. Yep, we're just reenacting the 60s or 70s, whenever that war was, or both, maybe both wars. I think there were multiple. And this is purely a religious war. That's all that is. That's unfortunate. Not because I really want either side to win. I actually want both of them to lose. So if they could get in a long, protracted conflict over this river, that would be the best thing ever. Let's see. Fighting over a bunch of ruins that aren't going to matter when we come through with our armies and unite all these peoples under the Greek Empire. I don't know. I'm just trying to be top end in the best economy and the most influential people in the European Union. That's my whole goal. All right, so we do have 5% of the pop. I think I should be viable to take offices now, right? Yeah, see? Okay, so we can be president. Allows us to put a bill forward to vote without requiring influence on any member. Yeah, president of the European Council. Temporarily take control over the Frontex forces. So there's some sort of European army, European Parliament. Oh my god, all this stuff. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. So we research camo. We're gonna do the recon bonuses that we need fairly badly. And what are we sitting on? Our economy is recovering here. That's pretty good. We're losing factories though, which is not great. Or not, we're not losing, like we've built more factories, but we're losing more to tax costs now and other things. Our unemployment is kind of fluctuating rapidly. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pay down some debt. Serbia has joined the EU. All right, we're not producing any combat units right now. Production looks like it's meeting our demands for training. As we've actually got fairly good training on a lot of these units done. Our airborne units are struggling, but they're coming back into the fold as well. Yeah, and then we still got our winter expert leader here. I'm just going to go ahead and assign this. No rhyme or reason. Just felt like doing it. Let's click his. I think his roles are tactics that I'm able to add now. Yeah, so that gives you hacker advantages, movement advantage. Thunder Run lowers your defense. It gives you massive bonuses to attacking. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to use offensive breakthrough. Yeah, it looked like... What was that just finished up? I clicked it out of habit. How's this war going as well? Because Iran is at war with Saudi Arabia. Both sides have lost a whopping 3,000 people. Ukraine versus some of the breakaway republics is kind of messy, but they haven't lost anyone realistically. Hell, I think Brunei in the North Korea playthrough took out more people. They're just killing paratroopers. I mean, as we had huge losses there. Yeah, these special forces units and everything, that's going to be a pain. Because in the desert here, all that's going to happen is they're just going to just push right into our supply line. Speaking of, I haven't looked at this in a while. Yeah, it's probably for our or to our benefit if we just have a line going dead center of the country. We can do something like that, and then go ahead and add a supply hub there. And then around by this desert, and then we can, yeah, something like that. That'll give us our first rail lines. Okay. Yeah, so we've got another good supply hub point there on this edge. Put a naval yard. We'll get a naval base right there in the corner. All right, so we got construction done. Get resource production going. Space-based weapons. Let's get the tow first. Mutual investment, huh? All right, cool. We've got power. Fuel situation is resolved. Let's go ahead and start lowering this back down. I think we should have a little bit more leeway with our fuel now. Maybe not a ton, but just a little. We are getting masteries done. All right, got another power plant. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we get nuclear fuel built up. Go buy another plant of enrichment facility, I guess. And if we finish up this stack of factories in central Greece, we'll just leave everything to finishing our autonomy gain. While we make power plants, and then I do need to also work on Chad here as well. Let's check our home, like, front rail lines and everything, because these are going to be the most important. Yeah, we don't have anything built. All right, let's get everything done. Oh, can you not go across the water there? That's lame. All right, we'll get all that. All right, since we finished that facility, probably oil quantity being processed into fuel, make that better. We can expand our labs as our economy's past 4 trillion. That's cool. I didn't notice even we were even close. So that'll actually give us our second slot we'll need alongside orbital launch vehicles. That's huge. And I'm going to combat foreign influence. Nice, nice. And we're out of time. All right, cool. So the Greek economy is stabilized. We are in kind of the almost, I would say we're in a place where we can almost go make a move against Bulgaria. I do want to make some sort of move in the Baltics here. All right, so GDP wise, China and the US are killing it. We'll call that tier 1, with Russia, India, Japan in tier 2. And then you have Italy, France, the UK, all at 10 trillion in tier 3. As we are where? A little bit down the page at 4 trillion by Argentina and Australia now. With Turkey still up there around 7.6 with Spain. Nice. Some of the larger economies, territory-wise, sitting in a solid 6th. Somehow the UK has more territory than us, which is wild. I don't know who the UK has control of for that to happen. All right, so industry-wise, I think we're just in the back here at 67 factories compared to the leaders at 430. And Navy and Air Force aren't really going to matter. I'm actually kind of surprised our land army is as big as it is. But anyway, about all we have. We could check on the factions now. Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China, Japan, the United States, and Brazil, all leaders of their own factions. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode. Y'all have a good one.